Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Before I get into this video, I would like to thank all of you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. And now, without further ado, let's get into part 2 of What If Naruto had Ultra Instinct. We left off with Naruto training heavily and learning various taijutsu techniques. Iruka in class one day would announce that they will be having a sparring session in class, and he would then announce who is sparring with who. Naruto wouldn't be concentrating until he had heard his name. Naruto Uzumaki versus Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto would feel slightly excited as Sasuke is top of his class, and Naruto wanted to test out his strength. Naruto wanted to win without using his mysterious powers, as they will harm him as well. It's somewhat of a double-edged sword. We skip to the sparring sessions taking place, and it's now Naruto versus Sasuke. Though Naruto isn't that annoying in this timeline, the other kids still don't like him. So we would see all the girls cheering for Sasuke and wanting Sasuke to beat Naruto to a pulp. Naruto would walk into the circle and form the unison sign, getting ready to fight Sasuke. Sasuke would do the same, and the match would begin. Naruto and Sasuke begin fighting, and it's obvious from the beginning that Naruto is winning in terms of taijutsu and strength. However, Sasuke can tell this, so he weaves a few hand signs and uses the fireball jutsu. Iruka, seeing this, would be ready to stop the match and intervene because of a fire style jutsu being used at such a young age. However, Naruto had made no attempt to dodge. A blue aura would then surround Naruto, as a huge shockwave would be created just from Naruto's presence. The fireball would be blown out, and some of the other students would be blown back. Naruto would walk towards Sasuke, who is now trembling, and then Naruto would disappear. Naruto would reappear behind Sasuke, and Sasuke would turn around and swing his arm at Naruto. However, Naruto just fades into nothingness, and would be back to his original position. Naruto would raise his hand and would place his hand on Sasuke's head after blitzing towards him, and as he does this, Sasuke would fly back into a fence. Iruka, seeing this, would try to grab Naruto to stop him. However, as he would do so, Naruto would dodge out the way of Iruka. Naruto would then deactivate the Omen of Ultra Instinct, as a black lightning would surround him. Naruto would wince in pain as he stumbles to stay up. However, Naruto does manage to stay on his feet. Naruto would then create the unison sign towards Sasuke, who is unconscious, and Naruto would walk away. Naruto would be in his house after, and would be thinking back to Sasuke using the fireball jutsu. Naruto wanted to be able to use a jutsu like that too, and he thought about what he learned in the library. There are 5 chakra natures, and people have affinities towards them. Depending on what his affinity is, will solidify what jutsu he can and can't learn until later on. Naruto, with this burning curiosity, would go to the Hokage's office and knock on the door. Hiruzen would say enter, and Naruto would walk in. Hiruzen would say to Naruto, "So, what do you want?" Naruto would just say 2 words, "Chakra paper." Hiruzen would laugh and say, "Chakra paper? At your age?" Naruto would reply just with a yes. Hiruzen would sigh as he knows Naruto is being completely serious. So Hiruzen decides to hand Naruto a chakra paper. Naruto would infuse a little bit of his chakra into the paper, causing it to split, and Naruto would say, "I have an affinity for wind, it seems." Hiruzen would say to Naruto, in a bit of shock, "Yes, it seems so. You can also train to have an affinity to other chakra natures, however it is a lot harder to do so." Naruto would nod, and then he would exchange goodbyes with Hiruzen and go back to his house, getting ready to train again. Until Naruto is 10, he would train his Taijutsu and Ultra Instinct alongside with his new Chakra Nature training. Over these 3 years, Naruto has strengthened his body to the point where he can use the Omen of Ultra Instinct for 1.5 minutes without sustaining major recoil. He can also flow Wind Chakra into his Kunai and Shuriken. He hasn't learnt any Jutsu yet though. He can use a Transformation Jutsu as well. Naruto, after beating Sasuke, is even more avoided, as everyone is afraid of him. Naruto has been training his Wind Chakra Nature, but isn't sure how to use it effectively with his Ultra Instinct. So one day he decides to begin training the Lightning element. He would go to the Hokage's office once again and would knock on the door. Hiruzen would say enter, and Naruto would be standing there, ready to ask Hiruzen for some help. Hiruzen would say, "Naruto, what brings you here? I haven't seen you for 3 years." Naruto would nod and then say, "Can you teach me lightning style?" Hiruzen would laugh once again and say, "That's a hard thing to do, Naruto. Were you not satisfied with wind?" Naruto would shake his head, and Hiruzen would decide to leave the room momentarily. He would return with a scroll, and he would say, "Very well, Naruto. These are the basics on the lightning chakra nature." And now, over the 2 years before becoming a genin, he would master the chakra nature of lightning. However, he knew no jutsu, just how to flow lightning chakra into his kunai and shuriken. Naruto is still a dunce and still does pranks around the village, despite his capabilities and hard work to achieve something he wants to achieve. Naruto would still not master the clone jutsu because he is so focused on his other training and doesn't see the graduation exams as major training that will make him stronger. So, when graduation comes around, and Naruto is many times stronger than in canon, he would still fail the clone jutsu, therefore making Iruka still fail Naruto. This would mean that Naruto would still be manipulated by Mizuki. Naruto, once he had stolen the scroll of sealing, would open up and would learn the shadow clone jutsu, just like in canon. Naruto would train to master the shadow clone jutsu, and Iruka would arrive once Naruto completed it. Naruto would say, "You can pass me now because I've learned a new jutsu." Iruka would be surprised and would ask him who told him that, and Naruto would say Mizuki told him that. Iruka would immediately understand what was going on, and just like that, Mizuki would appear and attack Iruka. Mizuki would ask Naruto to hand over the scroll. However, Naruto would know something was up and would try to fight with Mizuki. Naruto would use the shadow clone jutsu. However, because he wasn't angry, he only made 10 clones. Mizuki would destroy these 10 clones, and Iruka would then save Naruto and would help Naruto escape. Iruka would be very surprised that Naruto had made these clones. However, his top priority was to capture Mizuki. Naruto would be hiding behind a tree when Iruka would verbally acknowledge Naruto, and as Iruka was about to die at Mizuki's hand, Naruto would kick Mizuki away. Iruka would call Naruto a fool. However, there would be no response, as a calm blue aura would begin to surround Naruto's body. Mizuki would stand up terrified because of this menacing feeling Naruto was giving off. Naruto would open his eyes, revealing his cold, silver eyes. Mizuki would rush at Naruto, however all his attacks would be evaded. Naruto would then jump back, and Mizuki would say whatever Naruto just did, he will still lose. But before Mizuki knew it, Naruto was in front of him. Naruto, in an instant, would grab Mizuki's head and drill it into the ground, knocking him unconscious immediately. Naruto would then deactivate the Omen of Ultra Instinct. However, Naruto's body would then be surrounded in black lightning, as his body would begin to take the toll of Ultra Instinct. Naruto would fall to one knee. However, Iruka would tell Naruto he did great. Naruto and Iruka would then have their moment, and Naruto would receive his headband. And the next day, he would be assigned to Team 7 with Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto would go sit next to Sakura, who would be annoyed. She also can't get over when Naruto destroyed Sasuke a few years ago, and it still terrifies her to this day. Sasuke would be annoyed to see Naruto on his team, as he is still embarrassed that he lost to Naruto so badly all those years ago. After every team had left with their teachers, Kakashi would finally arrive and would bring everyone to the rooftop. They would then all give the same introduction as usual. Kakashi would then tell them all to meet at the training grounds and not to eat breakfast. They would do as Kakashi instructed. However, Kakashi would be very late. But as soon as he arrived, he would explain the bell test and would then say, "Begin." Naruto, after training quite a lot, would decide to make several clones and spread them around when they had scattered. Sakura and Sasuke would notice that there were a bunch of Narutos, and Naruto would begin sending a range of wind-style jutsu at Kakashi, including wind-style, air bullet, and wind-style slicing waves. Kakashi would be quite surprised, however he would be able to dodge them quite easily. Naruto would then begin strategizing again, when Sasuke would run at Kakashi. Sasuke would try to use many taijutsu moves, however none were effective. Sasuke would be close to being caught, however he would use a fireball jutsu to avoid Kakashi catching him. Or so he thought. Kakashi would then appear behind him, but Sakura would throw several kunai at Kakashi, whilst Naruto would throw a few shuriken with lightning chakra infused. Kakashi would have to avoid these, and would be happy they showed teamwork. Kakashi would be about to pass them when Naruto would walk out of the bush, with a completely different atmosphere surrounding him. Naruto would then emit the omen of Ultra Instinct's aura, and Kakashi would sense this change and would get ready for a harder fight. Kakashi would think to himself, "This kid, something isn't right." Sakura would look at Sasuke, who was shivering. Sakura would turn her head to see Naruto how he was when he destroyed Sasuke. Naruto would still open his eyes, revealing his silver eyes, and Kakashi would put his book away and get ready to get a little serious. Naruto would then appear in front of Kakashi and go to punch him, but Kakashi would manage to narrowly dodge, when suddenly Naruto had spun and used his heel to kick Kakashi. Kakashi would then parry this, however the ground below would begin to crack. Kakashi would pull out a kunai and try to hit Naruto with it. However, he moved out of the way and jumped back. Kakashi would think to himself, "If he gets any stronger, I may need to use the Sharingan. His power is off the scales, and he moves in ways that shouldn't be possible." Naruto would then rush at Kakashi again, but even faster. Kakashi would swing his kunai in front of him again, however Naruto would disappear and appear behind Kakashi once again. Naruto would then place his hand on Kakashi's back and push him, sending him flying back. Kakashi would manage to do a 180 and would skid backwards. At the same time, Kakashi and Sasuke would say, "He is a monster." Naruto would then begin emitting an even more powerful, even hotter aura, and Kakashi would say, "Not good." However, before Naruto could move, he collapsed, as his body began radiating black lightning. And with this, we'll end part 2 of What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct. I hope you all enjoyed, and consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.